Here's how to make over $100,000 from this exact DeFi farming strategy. Watch till the end and I'll show you everything step by step. With this strategy that we are going to talk about, you can farm 8 airdrops simultaneously and on top of that earn 10 to 100% APY on your positions depending upon your risk. We are going to use Loopscale for this strategy, which is a borrowing and lending platform that's available on Solana now. I'll leave a link to the platform down in the description because they do have their own point system, which is for their own airdrop, obviously. And we are going to use this platform to farm other airdrops. I'm going to show you how. And they already have $19 million borrowed on the platform and $21 million supply. And they're backed by some good names like Solana Ventures, Coinbase Ventures, Jump Coin Fund, and Room 40 Ventures, which is obviously good to see. But that's not what's going to make us money. So once you click the link in the description and enter the ref code, you're going to hop onto a page like this, which is the lending section. Here, this strategy is the least riskiest of all. You're going to just take the token and deposit that into a Loopscale wallet. You have Solana, you have USDC, Fragmetric USDG, and Jito SOL. And if you want, you can also deposit CBDC, but just stick with these 3 or 4 tokens. And the most I would recommend is going with Fragmetric. We already kind of have a mixed video on Fragmetric. You can go watch that on the channel. So once you click the link in the description and use the ref code, you're going to hop onto a page like this. And here, this is the least riskiest of all of the strategies that I'm going to show you in this video on this platform. The tokens I would suggest you stick to would be like these 3 or maybe these 4 tokens. And yeah, that's it. But what I would deposit into is the Fragmetric SOL, but because you're also going to earn points for Fragmetric, and we are trying to farm more airdrops as we are also earning APY. So I might actually make another dedicated video for this. Just let me know in the comments. But yeah, you just have to convert your Solana into FragSOL, then wrap it on their platform, and you'll be good to go. You just deposit that, like that's literally it. You can also deposit USDC if you want to farm more points for Loopscale themselves. Scrolling down, you have advanced lending. Here, I wouldn't use it, but you can. This basically allows you to choose everything regarding your lending position. So let's say you supply FragSOL, you can choose the eligible collateral, choose the target APY, and then you can just enter the amount and you'll be done. You can also enter the interest rates, and basically you're gonna have all the control in your hands. I don't like it. This is simple. This is good. You have 4% here on FragSOL. You have a little over 10% here on Solana, and you also have HubSOL and SPH Sol for this. So that's good. And but in the advanced lending section, it's 3% and 0.5%. So yeah, that's my logic. Next, my favorite section is the loop section, and that's where I have majority of my farms going on. So hopping onto the loop section, here we have PT Frag Sol and Sol pair for this looping strategy with over 45% APY. So that's pretty good. And not only that, but we also have Exponent, which is one of my favorite airdrops or the platforms to farm right now because they do not have points and all that jazz. So if they do launch a token, it's less likely that there are a lot of farmers farming it compared to something like Loopscale or even FragSOL or RateX where they do have points. So yeah, that's obviously good. So all you have to do is hop onto the Exponent Finances. So to go forward with this strategy, you just click on this button. After opening the loop strategy, you just click on this and convert your FragSOL into PT FragSOL and then just deposit that right here. You need to keep in mind though that these are fixed yield tokens and they can be redeemed at full value at their maturity date. So for example, in this pair, we have until July 10th, 2025, about less than a month at the time of recording this video. And in the same way, you have PT FragSOL and W FragSOL with 66% APY, and you can also choose leverage in this. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind and adjust your risk accordingly. But again, for farming the Fragmetric points, you're gonna choose the W FragSOL Sol pair. But I'm pretty sure you'll also earn from this because it's still FragSOL and it goes through Exponent. So basically, you're gonna convert your Sol into FragSOL, then take that to Exponent, and then turn that into PT FragSOL, and then you're going to deposit that into Loopscale. So a pretty good loop here. And if we sort it with by APY, the maximum we are earning, the maximum that we can earn right now is on this pair right here from flash trade to long crypto, and that's gonna earn you 104% APY. So that's freaking crazy if you ask me. So let me just quickly take you through all the airdrops that you can earn from Loopscale. So one is obviously Exponent, which I've just spoken about, and then we have Fragmetric, which again I've already spoken about. Then we have Flash Trade, which is actually offering the 104% APY that I've shown you, and it's also going to earn you points. So obviously that's awesome. And then we also have Adrestea, I don't know whatever it's called. We have Adrestea Finance, which is basically a liquid restaking platform. Similar to FragSOL, it offers liquid restaking and then pools and all that cool jazz. And then we also have Solayer. Over here, the SOL pair, which is going to earn you points for the Solayer if you have the capital for it, some extra capital that you can use here. Wouldn't recommend it though. We also have RateX with these pairs offering 72 and 67% APY to short bonk long memes. Then we have kind of count into it, but not totally. Two ones are Solana Hub and Spear Labs with their SPH Soul. But here's the thing though, you need to understand what you're kind of doing here. So for all the folks who might not be able to come up with the strategy on their own or might not understand it, let me quickly run you through what I am doing or what I would do if I were in your place and have 500 to 1000 or $10,000 to farm this. What I would do to farm these. So for this strategy, I'm focusing on Fragmetric and Loopscale. So deposit some of your bag into just the Loopscale vault with straight up your Fragmetric SOL, and then just that's it. Your deposit is done. Now we move, and then also if you have some stable coins, you can deposit that here. But you can just do that for the meantime. But wouldn't really recommend that because I'm gonna drop a new video soon, and that is going to help you a lot more with earning stable coin yield. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Subscribe, you know. But the main juice is in the loop strategies, as you might have already known. Deposit some into Exponent and get the PT Frag Soul, then deposit that in here. Either choose the PT Frag Soul with the Soul pair or the W Frag Soul pair, with or whatever is available for you at that time. And then a majority of the bag goes into this one right here. Now this covers loop scale, fragmetric, and also exponent because I want some exposure onto exponent. And also FragSOL seems bullish, and obviously Loopscale, it's clean, it's cool, and I kind of like it. But obviously you can also go forward with the other platforms that I've shared. I'll leave links to all those additional platforms in the description. But yeah, another thing which you can do is obviously borrow stuff. Now one thing that you really need to keep in mind, or you basically lose your money when you're depositing into this, just keep in mind that you do have a maturity date, and if you kind of break it, you'll lose your money with if you break that, they say you can take it, but you kind of lose your money from slippage and stuff like unavailability of enough liquidity. So it's better to just deposit and kind of let it run and making sure your position is safe while earning a decent APY on top of farming the points. Now, just keep in mind that this should be set to 1 day because I think someone wasn't able to like withdraw and they were losing like 60% of their initial value while earning like negligible APY on top of that just to farm points. And so yeah, just keep that in mind and make sure it's 1 day. Now the only thing, the most important thing left for you to do is to go to t.me/rektless crypto and join the Telegram. If you're still watching, you deserve to know this. So yeah, let me show you. So Loopscale actually faced an exploit on 26th of April this year at 11:30 a.m. EST. So there was some exploit with the RateX PT token pricing functions led by an exploit of 5.7 million USDC and 1200 SOL from their Loopscale USDC and SOL walls. Basically, these loop scale walls, right? And those were the only ones that were affected, and everything else, whoever were borrowing or the loopers, they were safe, as they said. And it's pretty cool that they've managed to kind of negate this situation without any of the users having to lose deposits. So what the team did was they sent a message to the exploiter, basically offering them with a white hat agreement of returning the exploited funds in exchange of 10% of as a reward. So that would be a bounty of 3947 SOL. And the exploiters actually agreed to that and returned everything. So on April 29th, they tweeted this at 12:19 a.m. ET. This morning, 10,000 W SOL worth about $1.8 million was returned to a Loopscale wallet. And at the 3:14 p.m. ET, this is in addition to 5,000 W SOL, which is just FragSOL, which is just SOL itself, which was valued at 740K returned, which was returned yesterday. That is presumably on April 28th. They had a successful negotiation. All funds were taken from Loopscale protocol on April 26th, were returned, and users incurred no loss of deposit from this incident.